Alright dudes, I'm going to show you how you can run your own pirate radio station. All you're going to need is Winamp. Alright, so you get some Winamp in that, and you get a couple radios that you can monitor your station from. I have two actually. Yeah, some punk rock. Anyways, I only play local music because I'm awesome, and in my opinion, local music is better than everything else. So you get Winamp and a computer, and you get yourself one of these bad boys. And I'll vouch for this company. They make good transmitters. It's the 30 water. One thing you do have to know about these is that they have some kind of efficiency module. So if your antenna isn't tuned to the proper frequency that this is tuned to, the power output won't be a full 30 watts. So that's important. Anyways, so this has an amplifier in it too. So you go from computer with the little, let me put some light on it, yeah, with the little cord here, to your Speleo, your transmittery dampener, and then to your antenna. Now you connect this to the antenna with what's called a coax cable. Now there's a bunch of different kinds. They're all the same. The only difference that I've been able to find is what kind of power rating they can have and what adapter they have on there. So yeah, and as you can see, my antenna is literally just duct taped to this shelf here, and it works just fine. This goes 15 miles. 15 miles right here, believe it or not, with 30 watts. It's because I'm in a dorm room. I'm on a high location. My radio station is called KUNT. K stands for America, UNT stands for the University of North Texas, and I play underground music. I have flyers with my old frequency. I even have a new one with the new frequencies and stuff on it, but it's not important. So, you may be asking, like, okay, so what if the FCC comes and, like, nails me, you know? Well, basically, the FCC, in my, according to, like, my experience so far, I've been doing this for about a year, is that, as you can see, I live with about 1 million people in a very big building, and if they ever did show up, which I'm sure they have before, they would sure have a hard time figuring out exactly what room I was in. I do keep it quiet, and the only person who knows is me and my roommate and a couple of the bands in town. As far as that goes, there's a couple different places you can go online to check out how to do pirate radio. One thing I would suggest you look at to start is the it's called the Pirate Radio Handbook, and there's one full version of it on Scribd. It's by a guy named Zeke Hellflow. He's pretty cool, and this goes over a lot of all the technical stuff. But there's one thing you'll never see in these books, and that is how to run a radio station, and actually get a ton of people to listen. Like a professional radio station does. So what I do is I have a untraceable email address set up through Tor. I then run my email and everything through Tor so that it looks like I'm in fucking Zimbabwe. Let's turn that down and change the song. Yeah. Anyways, so anyways, so I have this web page. It's a Facebook page here, and you just keep this right here, your likes. You guys can't see shit. Yeah, keep your likes going up. You know, have a description, a picture of your frequency so that they can see, you know, just by a post what frequency you are on without even liking or clicking on your page. You know, I have the playlists on here, and you want to keep this blue shit right here going up. You know, that keeps your reach up and stuff. Get a Twitter. You know, you gotta network this stuff on the internet, man. It's 20th century, you know, like real radio stations do. Do be careful though. If you know, become irresponsible with, you know, how you distribute your information, you could give away your name and stuff, and that's not good. So when you're talking to people, but you know, just you know, stay cool with everything, man. You know, you don't want to say anything or do anything to get in trouble. I would advise against talking on the air, and when you do talk on the air, I would advise you to get one of these guys, because what this is, it's a little recorder, and you can record your voice and then put it on the computer. And so if you accidentally say the N word or the F word or something, and if you don't want to say that, you know, I'm advising you don't, then you know, you can re-record it. Just keeps everything real safe. But anyways, as far as music goes, I would suggest getting something that people can't really hear anywhere else. Around here in Denton, we have a couple radio stations, and the indie music that they play is corporate-fed bullshit. Everything else is classic rock, rap, Mexican music. Not that that's bad, or you know, just stuff, you know, that everybody can go to. What I did is I took all the local punk bands, Midwestern emo bands here, all the screamo bands, all the hardcore bands, all the math rock bands in Denton, all the bands that aren't covered, you know, by the station here in Denton, which is 88.1. It's the university station. They only play jazz. So, you know, I have a good, you know, selection of stuff. I also play some Midwestern bands and bands from Austin that come through Denton and throw me a CD. As you can see up there, I have a whole ton of CDs and just stuff people have thrown me. You know, I even, on the page, I work with other pages, other groups on the internet to help promote and help all this stuff that's going on in Denton. And that's what your radio station should be. It should be a medium to expose the art that music is. And I think, you know, what I do, that's what I like to do. So maybe that helps you out and help you understand how to run a pirate radio station. It's really not that hard. This is probably the most complex thing you'll deal with, the transmitter. And like I said, if you buy one, that's cool. Making them, there's tons of diagrams on the internet and tutorial videos. There's even kits on Amazon. 30 watts is about all you're really ever gonna need. You know, I mean, you could get a 1 kilowatt, but you'll be really pushing it. Like, people are gonna get, you know, you don't wanna broadcast too far. I mean, there's no point in Denton. Like, this city's too small to really push it that far. I will be getting a 1 kilowatt at some point though. But another thing I forgot to tell you about is use a frequency that you cannot you know, that there's nothing else on. Get a frequency that's in between two popular channels. Get a frequency that's, you know, gonna do your antenna. It's gonna match the tuning of it, you know, all that stuff. You gotta be careful, you know. And what I did was I literally went in my car and drove around to all the places that I knew that I wanted my station to cover, and I took a video on my cell phone of me scanning through each station individually, just pressing next, and I said if it was clear or if it wasn't clear, you know, if it was static or if it wasn't static. And then I actually got a bunch of paper together and I watched those videos. I don't have that piece of paper anymore, I don't think. But I watched those videos, and then I wrote out all the ones that were clear on each location and then compared them to each other. And when I did that, I found about 7 frequencies that were clear all around where I wanted my radio station to broadcast. Then I went and tuned, I used to have a tunable antenna, but I bought an antenna that matched the frequency that I wanted to broadcast on, and boom, here we are. Now, if you're confused on how to figure out how to tune an antenna, like I said, there's all those that good book I showed you, the Pirate Radio Handbook. There's also a book called the Antenna Book that's probably locatable at any half-price bookstore or used bookstore around you. It's just called the Antenna Book, and you can learn a lot from that. Also, Hand Radio for Dummies, that had a lot of useful stuff on SWR rates, other things that come down the road, you know, after you've been broadcasting a while. Probably the smallest transmitter you're going to be looking for, wow, I actually don't have it anymore in my dorm room because I took it home, but Hilly sells a small 15 watter that does a pretty darn good job. It comes with the tunable antenna. It's the one that I used to use, and it does a pretty darn good job of coverage. Again, you have to be really high up for it to truly take effect. So, on that note, hopefully that's all you need to know to do your own pirate radio station. Hopefully I've given you some pointers. One thing I'd like to add is that when you do a pirate radio station, especially if you're doing local bands, get them all together and throw a show. Gets tons of people listening, gets tons of people on board with your station, makes them happy. So, on that note, guys, I'm going to have to let you go. Don't want to talk too long. Hopefully this helps you out with your future deal. If you're in college, this is awesome. Do it. Just do it. There's nothing like someone doing it theirself. You know, DIY punk, DIY pirate radio, guys. You gotta get in on it. So yeah, that's it.